Alright, welcome back to Monster Hunter World and to Teostra. So, this is our third Elder Dragon of the channel. Admittedly, haven't been around for very long, so... You know... haven't had a lot of chances to do Elder Dragons. I did fight them quite a bunch back in the original Monster Hunter World, but... We're getting into him now. So, Teostra. He's definitely an interesting sort of example of how they changed monsters to sort of make them more viable, because back in the original Monster Hunter, Teostra was kind of a joke. I mean, he definitely looked impressive, and I definitely enjoyed his fight, but he really had one attack you had to worry about, and that was his Supernova. Which, ironically enough, he actually doesn't do here, because I think he has some sort of weird build-up, sort of like Zelgius, where, you know, he only does it once, like, certain conditions have been met. And so, you know, he's got that thing going for him. What else? They definitely buffed him. He's not, like, a complete pushover like he was back in the original world. They changed him pretty significantly, so they made him sort of, I would say, tank-like. He's not terribly fast, like, he doesn't move around a whole bunch. He tends to stay, like, he's fairly predictable in his movements. He doesn't, like, do any crazy charges or anything, or, like, dives. He tends to sort of do fairly standard charges and swipes and whatnot. The main thing you have to worry about is his blast particles. So, when he'll occasionally scatter around these particles in various patterns, he'll have, like, ones that come out when he charges, ones that come out in front of him, ones that come out, like, in the area around him. And you can sort of treat them like Zelgius scales, or Kirin lightning patches, because, well, they explode and they do a pretty significant amount of damage. To the point where you probably want to avoid them. And get a bunch of attacks you can do with those, and those are generally the ones you want to avoid. The other thing he really likes to do is roar. He roars quite a lot more than I'd say probably any other monster. Well, at least it feels like he roars a lot. And he's actually going to get, I think he gets a pretty, no, not yet, I'll tell you when. Oh no, here we go. So he gets me with a tail swipe and knocks me over, and then he spawns a patch right on top of me and blows me up. And then he stuns me and gets another good hit off, so... Well, he definitely can combo you like that. That's, like, more of, like, a 1 in 1,000 sort of thing. He's not really, like, a comboing monster. Generally... Well, he isn't like Black Diablos or Skinning Zelgius, where he can just sort of immediately combo you from full health to no health in, like, 1 or 2 attacks. He definitely has to... He's definitely more of an attrition fighter, where... He's sort of wearing you down over time, and he's got like a bunch of more powerful singular attacks that you have to avoid. So that's definitely sort of more his modus operandi. And being as he is kind of a tank, oh boy, he has a lot of health, or at least it definitely feels that way. I'll talk about that more in a minute. So I end up stunning him here and having to wail on his head a bit. And, so yeah, his head takes forever to break. In fact, I don't actually break his head until the very end of the hunt. Like, when I sleep on him, that's when I end up breaking his head. So it takes me a while to get his head broken. It feels like I'm not sure if it's just easier to break with blunt weapons, because I'm not using Insight Blade, that's more of a sever weapon. So that's maybe how it works. I don't really know, but either way, it took me absolute ages to break his head. And so the other thing you might be wondering is why I'm actually fighting him in the desert. You know, why the desert? Well, shouldn't he be fighting him in the Elder's Recess? That's where he appears, or he first appears. He's got some really cool areas to fight there, and, well, I would love to, and I actually did fight him in the Elder's Recess the first time I fought him in Master Rank. There's something weird with the 2 quests. There's 2 quests. There's one in the Wildstar Waste that we're doing right now, and there's one in the Elder's Recess to fight him. For some bizarre reason, Capcom decided these two would be on a rotation, which means sometimes you have this one and sometimes you have the other one. And so I ended up just running this one because it was there and, you know, I didn't want to keep you guys waiting forever. Alright, so he's actually going to get bombarded with by Kushala here in a minute, but I just wanted to talk about a couple other things that happened on the channel while we're here. One is the Kieran fight, so yeah, if you saw that video, you'll know it was some hot garbage. It was really stuttery. Well, the hunt itself actually went pretty well, but it was really stuttery. Fortunately, this one's not nearly as bad, and I'm actually going to turn down the quality a little bit more to try and eke out a bit more performance, because there's still some stuttery moments, but yeah, that's something we definitely need to fix. The other thing, Tempered Black Diablos. Or Mastering Tempered Black Diablos. Excuse me. So, you may have seen me complain about, I'm not sure if you heard me complain about her in the comments, but I ended up fighting her very recently, so the reason sort of the Kieran video took so long to come out was partially because of just, it took me a while to get a good run on him, and partly because, and the reason it didn't have audio either, well, I mean, commentary for me, excuse me. It was just Tempered Black Diablos. I fought her 2 times, she absolutely destroyed me, and after that I just felt really demotivated, you know. I just couldn't get it together to, you know, work up my motivation to really do anything. And so, eventually I figured, alright, I just have to release this. And, you know, the fact that it was all stuttery sort of solidified my decision to just go ahead and release it. So let's just have the footage there for people to see. And yeah, that's sort of why I did what I did there. I ended up beating her earlier today, actually. So, you know, it's done. I have slain my demon, but yeah, here we go. You guys watch the garage off. But I would never fight her again. Her damage is kind of broken. Right, we get the wing break here as well. Yeah, her damage is completely busted, and something interesting to happen here as well, I believe. Or no, not yet. So yeah, you can see him scattering his blast particles. They end up getting me pretty hard here, so I end up getting stunned. And he ends up going for something pretty interesting, so he has a fire blast, and it does way more damage than I expected it would do, but fortunately my max potions are right there, so I can just quickly go ahead and heal up. So that's another thing you need to be aware of. His blasts and fire attacks are definitely the ones you want to worry about. And if you saw back there where he does his sort of breathe fire on the ground, which I think they pretty much stole from Roth because she has an attack that's basically identical, that also does a crap load of damage, so just be aware of that. Another thing he really likes to do is his roar. He roars quite a lot. I'd say, I'm not sure if he roars anymore, but it feels like he does. And so, I'd say maybe bring an earplug jewel or two. I wouldn't say it's like absolutely worth it, but it can definitely help, and it will definitely help you get some extra damage in. Stuff to not get stunned as much. So here we actually end up getting his tail off as well. So at this point I'm feeling pretty good about the fight, because, you know, wings broken, tail's off. Surely his head's gonna come soon, but no, it doesn't. It sticks around for, like I said, literally until the end of the fight. So we end up getting another knockdown here, which I really did do some more research on how monsters encountering and knockdowns really work. I've sort of just, a lot of what I know about the game is either gained from just trial and error, reading the wiki, or just doing some basic research on forums and whatnot to try and figure out how the game works. And if you're wondering why I'm doing everything solo, you know, why do everything solo? I mean, it would some of these monsters be a lot easier with multiple person. Yes, actually, they'd definitely be faster. And you know, I have done multiplayer quests before. I did it with Behemoth, I did it with Toasty, and I've done some other smaller multiplayer quests from time to time, but it's more about proving to myself that I can do these fights alone, that I can take the proper preparations and just be able to beat these fights, you know, one-on-one. And that might seem weird to some people. It might seem like I'm just making things unnecessarily hard, but I there's a sense of pride in, being able to take these monsters on mano a mano, as it were. So you actually see me try and lure him into the cactor back here, but unfortunately he goes after my palico, and then he decides to breathe a bunch of fire on the ground, and so cactor runs away, and, that's kind of sucky, but fortunately we get something a little bit better, and that is going to be, I believe, two knockdowns into a wall, so 2 clutch counters, and then a mount. This area actually goes pretty well for me, and as you can see, hard focusing his head literally does nothing. He doesn't break a little bit. So, he doesn't enrage here. Normally monsters will enrage after you knock them down, for whatever reason he decided not to. I don't know what determines that, or when they enrage. I think I really need to do more research on that, which is something I've been saying for far too long, but, one day I'll actually do it. One day I'll actually get around to figure out how this game works. So, yeah, he's gonna roar again. Yeah, he definitely seems to roar a lot more than other monsters. And it definitely seems to, it feels like it lasts forever. So we end up getting a second clutch counter off here, so he bonks his head into a wall and go for another round of wailing on his head, and it still does absolutely nothing. It's kind of incredible how much health that headpiece has. Even with him taking 2 knockdowns, 2 clutch claw counters, it still doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's one of his really big blast us attacks you really need to watch out for. He's actually going to barely crit me here and knock you back. It's kind of annoying, but And then he gets me with another. Yeah, that fire blast just goes straight 180 around his head, so you really got to watch out for that. And so you'll see me actually. I've picked up some new materials, some new consumables you might have seen. The sushi fish scales are actually, those are really good. I did not know how good those were until I started using them, but they heal quite a lot, and they also are instant cast, so you can just quickly eat them up and go. It's great. It's really nice. And the great ones actually protect against bleeding, so... And great sushi fish are pretty common, so I would say, yeah, like, if you want to farm those guys, I'd absolutely recommend going out and farming some sushi fish and great sushi fish. You won't regret it, they'll definitely help you out in your hunts, so... Pro tip from me to you. So yeah, we get the mount off here, we knock him down, and we keep wailing on him even more, and it's still... His head's just... It's like a shell of impenetrable armor. It just does not want to break. It may be that blunt damage helps with that. I think I mentioned that before. I should really probably script these. But, yeah, you'll see him go for Fire Blast. Doesn't last for very long, but, man, it pretty much surrounds his entire body, and it does quite a bit of damage. So, yeah, you have if you saw that 300 number back there, that's actually my dust that I placed on him, so you'll see me try and put dust and go for blowing it up a couple times, because, he just does so much damage, but he's pretty good at keeping... It tends to end up on his legs, just because of how that control attack works. That's me pressing control in the air, and doing that down smash. Unfortunately, it just tends to end up on his legs, so, it's a bit hard to go for, because of how he positions himself, but, what can you do? Either way, we're on to the second to last area, just spoiler warning. This is close to the end of the fight, and the second to last area is a bit interesting. This is Rathian's Nest, as I think you can probably tell, and it has these patches of oil on the ground, and those make the fight a little bit interesting in not a great way, because they stay on fire pretty much forever, so you get to always watch out for those. Another thing you'll notice here is because of all the dust and the Molotov cocktail, and, sorry, the volcano. Well, technically it's been Molotov cocktail, so I guess it's kind of true. And all the fire he spits out, that becomes a little bit hard to see him from time to time. So, like, especially, like, right about, like, here, yeah, he becomes practically invisible. It's really hard to see where he is and what he's doing without really paying attention. Especially it's a bit hard when you're trying to hunt him as well. So, yeah, you'll see. And especially with all those, yeah, the burning bits of oil, especially with all, like, the blast stuff he puts out, it makes it kind of difficult to maneuver around. So, yeah, so what happens here is I drain his health, sorry, I exhaust him, then I clutch call counter and do a hit on his head, and then I grab some pods, and we actually use the last of our temporal mantle to grapple onto his head, and then knock him into a wall, and then because we wounded his head early on, we can actually do a little bit extra damage here. And you can see on the map, now he's wounded. He's on his last legs. We're close to the end. So, hit him off one last time, grab us some slinger bombs, and we actually... So he's going to head back to his nest, which is technically Diablos' nest, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it. Sorry, I'm recording this at like 11:40 at night. But yeah, he heads back off to his nest, and I actually slowed down a bit. The main reason being that I don't want him to wake up before, you know... Well, if I get there and he's still trying to fall asleep, he won't go to sleep. I think he'll probably just immediately enrage, and then we'll just have a big problem on our hand. We won't be able to sleep bomb him. Big problems. Let's not do that. So we slow down. We let him get back to his nests. Let him chill for a bit before we end up following in and sleep bombing him. And so, right about here is about where this is where it really becomes apparent how much health he has left, because we're going to sleep bomb him, and he's going to be alive for a lot longer than I think virtually any other monster that I've fought on the channel. So, here we go, placing down our sleep bombs, and our Palico is going to do it as well. And normally, if you see my videos before, you'll see that I tend to place down like a regular small barrel bomb that just automatically sets the explosions off, but I've started just doing it myself. I think if you see my Kieran video, that's maybe what I'd end up doing, but I blow him up, finally break his head, he gets knocked over. I'm like, alright, surely this is where it ends. And so, we go in, grab our buffs, start wailing on his head, and he gets back up. I'm like, alright, fine. He rages and roars. I'm like, alright, fine. He ends up getting a pretty good hit on us here soon enough, and I start hitting him with these things trying to stagger him. It does absolutely nothing. We end up curling into an explosion. Big damage, but it's fine. We have our max potions. We can just heal up really quick. No problem. No big deal. So, yeah, we get clipped by another explosion there. I'm just trying to deal as much damage as I can. Yeah, he gets stuns off a lot more often than you would think. He does kind of get lucky with those a lot more than I would like. So, grab the Vitality Mantle. Alright. So, I'm pretty certain. So, at this point, I'm pretty certain that he's going to be dead soon. Heal up. Get going after him again. And so, I believe I get a mount off here, like, pretty soon. Yeah, I think, like, literally, like, right about now. I get not quite. I think it happens really soon. Wailing on him. At this point, he is still not dead, of all. Amazingly. The aerial counter did kind of take me off a bit. I think here. I need to really memorize his views a bit better. But yeah, I think here is where I get him. No, because I missed with the control. Yeah, he just refused to stay in one place and let me aerial him properly. Get him up here. Then I ended up trying to go for his leg, dust on it to try and... I think my thinking was I would actually try and knock him down here, but it ended up being a pretty complete failure because he would just run away every time I got close to him. And then, finally, I'm pretty sure I get the mount off here very soon. Yeah, right here. And so, I'm thinking to myself, alright, surely this has to be it. This is going to be his second knockdown in this area, and I'll be able to wail on his head even more, and his throat gun's going to take even more damage, and also being the weakest part of his body, you know. Surely he goes down here. No, amazingly enough, his movements end up forcing me into here, which loses me just a little bit of damage. So he breaks my Vitality Mantle. I'm like, alright, I'm just going to drop my Temporal Mantle, I'll just auto-dodge all his attacks, and hopefully that'll kill him. And it eventually does, but not immediately. Like, he still takes quite a few hits, so I just start wailing on him. Alright, can't really kill me. I'm just gonna go all out attack. Surely he has to be about dead. And so we go out for his backside, so he can't really break my combo. Still not dead. Go for it again. Still not dead. One more time. Still not dead. And finally, he keels over, and it's over. This is actually pretty fast. It's about 19 minutes, and so my other two were like in the 28, 26 minute range, so definitely a pretty good run, all things considered. There was definitely some luck involved, but it was a pretty good run, all things considered. Overall, don't hate him. I don't like him. Like, I don't love him, but I think he's alright. I think the changes they made definitely made this fight more interesting, more challenging, just a different fight overall. And he's not, like, annoying or anything. He's not broken. He doesn't do, like, stupid amount of damage. He doesn't, you know, have any really annoying attacks that he just loves to use over and over again. He doesn't have any attacks that are just crazy hard to dodge. He's all of it's pretty well put together. I don't mind him at all. So, yeah, I'd say that I definitely do. Well, he does feel very. His head feels like it has like a little too. It takes a little too long to break because, well, you saw that. But other than that, really, you know, I don't have too many complaints about him. All things considered, he's fine. I mean, if I had to farm him, I would be like, all right, this is the worst thing ever. But yeah, that'll about do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to leave a comment to tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I'm probably doing something wrong. You know me. Other than that, I request that you like and subscribe. You don't have to, but that would really help me out. And yeah, peace out.